Alright, we're going to talk about withdrawals and tremors. If you've seen my video about graduating to the sink, throwing up and things like that, first we have to find out why that we do have withdrawals. It's called a withdrawal because, see, this is our brain. We're withdrawing the substance which is going straight to the mouth, which is straight to the brain. Okay? Over time, see, what do we want? We want to address the problem, and then in 1 week, we don't want to have nothing wrong with us. Nothing at all. And like with my situation, when that guy right there got going, it was an obsession. But before you graduate to that level, I work with a lot of people, a lot of entertainment industry, whatever. They think that they don't have a problem, but they do. If they're thinking you have a problem, then you've got a problem. Because we wake up with the shakes. And what do? To cover up the shakes, we get to drinking. But in order to change, we often experiment, trying not to drink. But then we shake, our mind's obsessing over it, everything like that. The key to my success and the other people's success that I tell them is we have to stay busy. We have to stay busy. In the beginning, from not drinking or, drugging or whatever, we're going to have a lot of withdrawals. We have to think of how long that it took to get to this situation right here. We have to think of how long it took to get to this area, or before that, getting to the sink or getting a DUI or whatever. How many years was I constantly pounding the brain with drinking? Bam, bam, bam. How many years was I constantly doing that? So if I go ahead and get it in my brain, that it's going to take time for me to get out of that. But I also have to understand that I have to accept there's going to be some consequences from years of drinking, drugging, whatever. Years of it. There's going to be consequences. There could be some health ailments, high blood pressure, eye problems from seeing, liver problems, whatever the case may be. And if we get it in our thick head that every time that we drink, it's going to make that worse. And every time that we quit drinking and we fall in and we succumb to the withdrawals overwhelmingly back to drinking, then our mindset gets worse every time. So that means that every time the withdrawals are going to get worse. And this guy right here I had to go to detox. Now this last time when I went to Peachford down in Atlanta, see, I was only in there 6 days, but I've been through the ringer. I combined all of my stuff together so when I got out that I could make something happen. I knew what I had to do. I had to stay locked and loaded, in this and started. And it's like if it takes 5 years to come around, then I'm going to do the same thing every day. If a doctor was in there and said to this guy's family, he's going to do the same thing every day for 5 years, the family would say, I'm behind him, even though mine's not. But I have to get it in my head, not to think ahead. Remember, I'm going into this. I know the damage that I've done. I'm shaking. I'm thinking. I'm having suicidal thoughts, tremors. I'm sweating and everything. But if I go to a detox and accept that humility and that pride, when I go in there, they're going to put me on some medications. It's going to stabilize me, get my blood pressure going. If I do this on my own, I'm guessing at every level. I'm trying to take this to cure this shakes, do this, when the whole time it's this. If I go to detox like I did and I get out and I get connected to a group, and I share about things, I'm going to hear people in there talking about my withdrawals and shaking and everything, how long that lasted. But if I go to my employer or whoever and say, listen, I've got to go get some help first for a week, but then I'm going to get better. Okay, I'm going to try, I'm going to be shaking. And the whole key to curing the shakes and all that is to stay as busy as possible. You've got to stay busy. Anybody that will tell you about Matt Childs will say that man never sits down. Working out, whatever it is, he never sits down. The only time he sits down is to go to sleep and obviously to do this, but I'm working. But if I stay busy and I keep my mind, busy and occupied, because see now, check this out. I've affected my emotions, my feelings, my senses, my relationships, how I value judgments, my decision making, all of that, my reasoning in the neocortex, analysis, my mathematical calculations. You can't put nothing together. So that's a long-term thing you're going to have to accept. That is withdrawals. Even though you're not shaking, if you can't put two and two together, that is a withdrawal from the substance constantly hitting the brain. And that's exactly what it is. But we have to understand, I have to stay busy. Even if it is reading. If I've never read before, I have to make myself read. I will get frustrated, but I have to read. I have to. If I want to live, I have to do this. I have to do what I don't want to do. And seeing the more the body gets exerted, gets exhausted throughout the day, then I can lay down at night and sleep. If I don't do anything throughout the day, I'm going to sit there and ponder about how I'm not drinking. How I wish I could be drinking. That's why I have to talk to people I don't want to talk to, that's been through what I've been through, what I'm going through. Help me and guide me. Because if I'm shaking, is that normal? Yes, it is. For months on end. Do you know what I mean? It took me months to get my handwriting back, but I journaled every day and I made myself do it. I had so many people against me doing this for me in the beginning, and now it's like jealousy and envy. So you have to get that in your head and block everybody out, because they're going to laugh at you shaking and everything. But that's the process. And you have to go through that. Remember, we did this to ourselves. We created this problem, and we did. We didn't recognize it when we should have, but we're where we're at right now, still alive, watching this. So what's the key? Stay busy. If you don't like fitness, do whatever it is that keeps you busy. Whatever it is. Study first. Get you whatever kind of recovery material, and you have to write it down and accept the fact that I am going to go through withdrawals. Even years down the road, you might have a craving. Now, granted, I have not had that many. I've had people try to set me up with beer in front of me. But that's the thing, is if you keep busy and keep the mind busy, the withdrawals will eventually go away. They will. The more of the social interactions that you get into to get yourself back to used to being in society without drinking, being normal in front of everybody, the more that becomes a drug of getting out there and doing it clean. And even shaking in front of people and being like, yeah, I'm going through withdrawals. That's exactly right. But I would go through my kids' piggy banks before, because I could not beat that withdrawal. I couldn't do it on my own. And then I succumbed to it and stole their money and went and bought some beer and black out. And that is not good. That's why I had to go get help. If I don't go get help, then I'm not going to have a chance. At all. And if I'm honest with these people, then I'll have a better shot. But before I go, I need to come up with a plan. And when I get out, I have to have a plan. If I don't have a plan, then there's nothing ever's going to happen. And this, I don't know why my phone keeps cutting off and recording stuff. I think somebody's messed with it, but I can touch some more on that. But this is serious, guys. If you are withdrawing, it's going to happen. If you've been drinking for a long time, it's going to take years to come around. This is my 5th year going into this. I'm doing the same thing every day. And it's amazing once you give time what happens. But you are going to have to go through those withdrawals, those mental torture, everything that's involved in it, the shaking and everything. And you're just going to have to sit there and tough it out. Take a cold shower, whatever. This too shall pass is what they say in AA and NA and everything. But if you stay with it and give time, it will come around. And I mean it will. And I can touch more on that. There's a whole lot more to this than what there is. And anyways, I love you, and I hope this helps you out a little bit.